Sky Mobile sponsors the transfer window on Sky Sports News.
Anyway, we're going to discuss Manchester United now, a very busy window for them. And one man that's followed it all because he's worked 1,000 million hours this window alone for us is Dharmesh Sheth. So, Dharmesh, what did you make of Manchester United's window?
Interesting, actually, because I don't think Manchester United's intention was to go into the final week, let alone deadline day, trying to bring in 4 new players that you see here: Sergio Reguilon, Sofian Amrabat, Johnny Evans on a short-term contract, and Altay Bayindir from Fenerbahce, the goalkeeper. They got most of their business done early, which is what they didn't manage to do last summer. So they learned that lesson. Rasmus Højlund came in, Andre Onana came in, and Mason Mount came in as well. But I think injuries were a big circumstance for Manchester United and what they did in the final week. And also, financial fair play rules played a huge part, because after they'd bought those 3 players, the only way they were going to go back into the market is if they were able to recoup some funds from sales. So the likes of Dean Henderson, they left, Fred left, and Anthony Elanga. So they managed to get some funds, and then it took until deadline day for them to get all of these players. But I know there was a lot of noise on social media from Manchester United fans saying, it's Manchester United, just get the deal done. But I think with FFP in the background, I think that was a huge issue for them. And it's illustrated in how they did the deal for Sofian Amrabat, because Sofian Amrabat, Morocco international, played a fantastic World Cup, and yet Manchester United are having to go in with a loan deal of 10 million euros. That's the fee. And then with an option to buy him for 25 million euros come the end of that loan spell. So it's interesting how United's transfer window has transpired, but they managed to bring in 7 players for their first team. And one interesting one above anything is this man here, Altay Bayindir, because he is the number 2 goalkeeper to Andre Onana. But if Cameroon make the Africa Cup of Nations, Onana's back in the fold there. He'll miss around 5 weeks potentially. They'll be hoping he can do the job.
Oh, it's very interesting. Thanks very much indeed. Guys, we're running out of time, but we just want to wrap up on Manchester United. Clinton, they finished 14 points behind Manchester City, the champions last season. With the squad they now have, do they cut the gap this year?
I don't know if they cut the gap. Man City are frightening at the moment. I think they've signed well. I do think their squad's good. I always worry about who's going to score the goals for them. That's the biggest problem, because you see at the moment, I prefer Rashford on the left-hand side. But I do like their addition. Amrabat in particular, I like.
So they cut the gap?
No, I don't think they will cut the gap, because Man City, it could be less than 14 points, but I still believe Man City will win the Premier League.
They will cut the gap.
They will cut the gap, but yeah, they'll cut the gap a little bit. But I like Amrabat. I think he's an outstanding signing. I'm glad they've got that over the line.
Will this make them more convincing? Because that's the key word that everyone's described them as, unconvincing so far this season, Michael.
Well, they need to be, from what we've seen in the early weeks. But we saw it last year, so we can't get too carried away and jumping on the bandwagon. It's not going to be great. I think they'll close the gap. I don't think it'll be as many as 14 points. I could be wrong. But I think what they have brought in is an improvement. The way he wants to play. Big change in the goalkeeper. Yeah. He was going to start. That was a big, important signing for them. And Amrabat was a must after the first 3 or 4 games we've had. That was crucial, because I don't see enough legs in that middle of the park for Manchester United at the moment in time. But he will make a difference.
Just briefly, Sue, on this final day, have they answered the questions that were being asked of them in the early games of the season, do you think, Manchester United?
I think with bringing Amrabat in, I think that was the sort of key signing that they needed on deadline day after watching those opening 3 games.